Most people think a blacksmith in 800 AD was a respected craftsman with a clean workshop and a sharp sword to show for it. They're wrong. The real story starts with an 8-year-old kid, alone, terrified, and about to spend the next decade getting burned alive. Sometimes literally. If this is the kind of story that keeps you up at night, or in this case, puts you to sleep, hit like and subscribe, and drop where you're listening from in the comments. Now let's go back to 800 AD. Get comfortable. Adjust those pillows. Because where we're going, you're going to want to be cozy. You just woke up in early medieval Europe. The year is 800 AD. Your eyes snap open in panic on a pile of dirty straw in the corner of a dark, smoky room. Your back aches. The thin wool blanket barely kept out the cold. Then it hits you. The sound. A deep, rhythmic clanging of metal that shakes the walls and jolts your heart into your throat. You're 8 years old, and yesterday, your life changed forever. Your father brought you here, a quiet man with rough hands who walked you down the muddy path from your family's farm without saying much. Be grateful, he told you. Most boys will never have this chance. You'll learn a trade. You'll never starve. But standing here now, staring at the massive bearded man already at work in front of a roaring forge, you don't feel grateful. You feel afraid. The workshop is nothing like you imagined. It's a simple wooden structure with a thatch roof, one side open to let the smoke escape. The floor is packed earth, black with soot. The heat hits you in waves, making your eyes water. The smell is overwhelming. Burning charcoal, hot metal, sweat, and something sharp you can't name. This is now your home. The blacksmith glances your way. He's enormous, shoulders like boulders, a beard matted with soot. His eyes are small and sharp. Boy, get over here. Work the bellows. You scramble to your feet. You know what the bellows are. Large leather contraptions that pump air into the forge. But you've never touched one. The handles are worn smooth, slick with sweat. You grab them and pull. Nothing happens. Harder, the blacksmith barks. Fire's too cool. You throw your whole body weight into it. The bellows resist, but slowly air rushes in and the flames flare higher. You pull again and again. Within minutes, your arms are burning. Within an hour, they feel like they might fall off. But you don't stop. The forge grows hotter. The blacksmith pulls out a glowing rod of metal with iron tongs and lays it on the anvil. He raises his hammer. The first blow rattles your teeth. Sparks explode everywhere. One lands on your arm, burning through your sleeve into skin. You flinch, but don't cry out. The blacksmith wouldn't tolerate that. Boy, water bucket. Now, you sprint to grab it, the weight nearly toppling you. The blacksmith plunges the red-hot metal into the water. The hiss is enormous. Steam engulfs your face, blinding you. Too slow, he says. You'll learn to be faster. Or you'll burn. That's just the first hour of your first day. The morning stretches on. Bellows. Water. Charcoal. Fetching it from the shed. Filling leather sacks with black, dusty fuel. Sweeping. Hauling. Running. You're the lowest thing in this workshop. Lower than the rats. By midday, your stomach is screaming. Back on the farm, you'd be eating with your family. Here, you wait until the blacksmith nods toward a small wooden table. The meal is simple. Dark bread, hard cheese, a cup of thin ale, not water. Water could make you sick. Even children drank ale in 800 AD. You eat too fast. The hunger doesn't go away. It just gets quieter. The blacksmith watches you with calculating eyes. Strong enough arms? Yes, master, you lie. Your arms are trembling. He snorts. They'll get stronger. Or they won't. The afternoon brings more work. You watch him shape a simple hoe blade for a village farmer. Nothing glamorous. Just a tool. But the way he does it, the precision, the way the glowing metal moves under his hammer like it's alive. It looks like magic. Don't just stand there, he growls. Bellows, hour after hour. By sunset, every muscle screams. Your lungs burn from smoke. Your eyes sting. Your hands are covered in cuts and burns you don't remember getting. Enough for today. Clean up. Get some sleep. Dawn comes early. No celebration. No praise. Just instructions. Bank the forge fire. Sweep. Put tools away. Refill the water bucket. Only when everything is done can you collapse onto the straw. There was dinner. Thin porridge with salted fish. Now exhaustion wins. Your eyelids grow heavy. The last sound you hear is the crackling fire, and far outside the village, the howl of a wolf. You pull the blanket tight. It's not like your warm bed now, but you're inside. You're dry. And whatever prowls the countryside after dark can't reach you here. Tomorrow will be the same. And the day after that. For years. This is what it meant to become a blacksmith in 800 AD. Not glory, not legendary swords, just brutal labour, burns, and survival. But there's something else. Something small. You felt it when you watched a master shape that glowing rod into something real. A kind of power. The power to create. To transform raw metal into something that matters. It's barely a whisper. But it's there. Right next to the fear. And as sleep pulls you under, it's the last thing you hold on to. Because tomorrow, you'll do it all again. Your second day begins like the first. The clang of hammer on metal jolts you awake before dawn. But something is different. You don't freeze. You move. You're at the bellows before the master can shout, pumping with aching arms. It's not confidence. It's just knowing what's expected. There's a boy near the charcoal shed watching you. Older, maybe 13. Wiry, with lean muscle and a face caked in soot. This is Einhard, the master says. Been with me 4 years. He'll show you what to do. Einhard doesn't smile, just turns and walks to the shed. Come on, we need charcoal. You follow him outside. The shed is stacked with charcoal, black, crumbly fuel that burns hotter than wood, hot enough to make iron soft. Einhard hands you a sack. Fill this, don't drop any, master counts it. The charcoal is filthy. Within seconds your hands are black. You'll learn you're never truly clean as a blacksmith's apprentice. The soot gets everywhere. Under your nails, in your ears. At night, when you blow your nose, the rag comes away black. How long until I get to make something? You ask. Einhard laughs. A harsh sound. Years. I just started learning basic hammering last winter. For now, you just work and watch and try not to get burned too badly. Have you been burned? He rolls up his sleeve. His forearm is a patchwork of small round scars. Dozens of them. Sparks, he says. You'll have your own collection soon enough. The morning is a blur of tasks. Charcoal, water, sweeping while the master works on a simple hoe blade. Nothing glamorous. Most of what a blacksmith does has nothing to do with swords. It's pots, nails, hinges, the invisible things that keep a village alive. But you watch the way the master handles the tongs, the way he reads the colour of metal in the forge, the way a single hammer blow in the right place does more than 10 in the wrong one. Don't just stand there. Bellows. You scramble back to work. By midday, you've learned something. Einhard isn't just another apprentice. He's a bridge. The master barely speaks to you, but Einhard translates with small things. A glance that says, move faster. A tap that steers you away from a tool you're about to knock over. He's been where you are, and he's not going to let you fail. Through the open workshop, you catch glimpses of village life. Farmers, women carrying water, children chasing each other, laughing. Part of you aches to be out there, to run back to the farm and never think about bellows or sparks again. But there's another part, quieter, that stays rooted, that watches the master work and thinks, I want to understand how that happens. When the master isn't looking, you pick up a small piece of cooled iron slag from the floor. Rough, heavy, worthless. You tuck it into your belt pouch. The first thing in this new life that belongs to you. Proof you survived. A sharp cuff to the ear snaps you back. Daydreaming won't fill the water bucket. Get moving. You run. But your fingers brush the pouch, and something settles in your chest. Not peace, something more like resolve. I'm still here, and I'm going to stay. The days blur together. Wake before dawn, stoke the fire, work the bellows, haul charcoal, fetch water, sweep, watch, learn, eat, bank the fire, sleep, do it again. But the blur isn't empty. Small things accumulate. You learn charcoal must be kept dry. You learn the bellows need steady rhythm. Too much air wastes fuel. You learn water should always be kept close to the anvil. Einhard teaches you most of it. Not in lectures. In small comments dropped between tasks. Keep your back straight or it'll break before winter. Watch the colour, not the flame. The flame will lie to you. You start to trust him. Not completely. Trust takes longer, but enough to listen, enough to follow. At night, when the forge is quiet and Einhard is asleep, you lie on your straw and think about the piece of slag in your pouch. You think about the master's hammer turning that glowing rod into a hoe blade. You think about Einhard's scars and your own new ones. You think about what Einhard said. Years. It'll be years before you make anything. And somewhere in your chest, right next to the exhaustion and hunger, a tiny flame catches. Not big enough to see. Not big enough to feel, really. But it's there. Small and stubborn and refusing to go out, just like you. 4 years pass. They don't feel fast while you're living them. Each day is its own war. But somehow, when you look back, the years have collapsed. 4 years. Gone. You're 12 now. And you are not the same boy who arrived. Your arms are wiry muscle from thousands of hours at the bellows. Your hands are calloused, mapped with burn scars you stopped noticing months ago. You're taller. The workshop feels smaller. Dawn breaks and you're already at the forge, stoking the fire automatically. Einhard finished his apprenticeship last spring and left as a journeyman. You miss him, but his place has been filled. There's a new boy, Willem, 8 years old, skinny, with frightened eyes that remind you of yourself 4 years ago. He sleeps in your old corner on the same straw. Willem, you bark. The charcoal won't haul itself. The boy scrambles up. You feel guilt for waking him so sharply. But this is how it works. Better he learns from you than faces the master's impatience. Good, you say when he lifts the sack. Remember, keep it dry. Damp charcoal makes weak fires. Weak fires make weak iron. Knowledge moves like this in a forge. Master to apprentice. Hand to hand. An unbroken chain. Master Oswald emerges. Wider now, beard shot with grey. After 4 years, you can read him. This morning, his shoulders are relaxed. A good sign. Morning, Alaric. He grunts. Your name. Not boy. It took 4 years to earn. Morning, Master Oswald. Good heat, he says, testing the coals. It's not praise, but close enough. You understand the workshop now. The forge at the centre, the anvil beside it, the tools hanging in rows, hammers, tongs, punches, chisels. Their names like a language you're fluent in. The smell doesn't overwhelm you anymore. It's home. Lord Gunther's steward will be here by midday, the master says. Wants fittings for the storehouse. Before then, we finish the plough blade for Farmer Morton. You nod. The plough blade has been a project for days. Without a good plough, the village's crops suffer. Come winter, people go hungry. This is the weight a blacksmith carries. Not glory. Responsibility. Willem returns with charcoal. You show him where to stack it. Master Oswald watches without comment. But you catch the faintest nod, and then he says it. Today, you'll help with the hammering. Your heart stops. Then starts again. Faster. 4 years. 4 years of watching. And now, he's handing you a hammer. Thank you, Master. Don't thank me yet. Your arms will be ready to fall off by sunset. He's not wrong. The hammer he gives you is smaller than his, but still enormous in your grip. The handle is worn smooth from years of use. You wrap your fingers around it and feel the weight settle into your palm. It feels right, like something you've been waiting to hold. The plough blade goes into the forge. While it heats, Master Oswald quizzes you. How do you know when the iron's ready? By the colour, Master. Bright yellow-orange for shaping. White is too hot. Cherry red is too cool. And if you strike metal that's too cool, it won't move right, might crack. Too hot? Burns away, gets brittle, ruined. He nods. Timing is everything. Hesitate and the metal cools. Rush and you make mistakes that can't be undone. The blade begins to glow the right colour. Bright yellow-orange. The master pulls it from the forge and lays it on the anvil. He looks at you. Strike where I point. Not too hard, not too soft. You raise the hammer. Everything goes quiet. There's just the anvil, the glowing metal, the hammer, the master's eyes. You bring it down. The clang reverberates through your entire body. The shock is enormous. But the metal moves. It flattens where you struck. You did that. Again. More controlled. You strike again, and again, finding rhythm. The master turns the blade between strikes, pointing where the next blow should land. Sweat pours down your face. Your arms burn. After what feels like hours, the metal cools too much. Back to the fire. Then quieter. Not bad. For a first try. From him, that's everything. The day continues. Heat. Hammer. Reheat. Each cycle smoother. Your body adjusting to the rhythm. Your arms scream. But you don't stop. This is your chance. The chance you've been waiting 4 years for. By midday, the plough blade is taking shape. You stand aside as the master discusses the new commission with Lord Gunther's steward. They haggle over price, careful and precise. You listen. This is part of your education too. The business of the forge, the value of iron, reputation. The afternoon brings smaller work. A broken hoe, a cracked pot. Once, the master steps aside and lets you make a simple repair. When it's done, the woman thanks you, not the master. You. It stays with you. As sunset approaches, Master Oswald inspects the finished blade. He turns it over, checking the edge, the curve, the thickness. It'll do, he says finally. From him, it's practically a celebration. That night, dinner is better. Thick soup, better bread, better ale. Your status has shifted. After the meal, the master motions you to sit by the dying embers. The coals glow deep red. A smith needs to understand metal, he says, not just how to hit it, how it thinks. Metal thinks, master. He snorts, figure of speech. But each piece has its own nature. You need to read it, by the colour, the sound, the way it moves. You listen. This is rare. The master explaining, not just ordering. Iron remembers, he says, quieter. Every heat, every hammer blow. Treat it poorly. It'll break. Respect it. Understand it. He trails off, and it'll serve you well. You finish. He almost smiles. Get some sleep. Your arms will be stiff tomorrow. As you settle onto your straw. In a small alcove now, separated by a curtain, every muscle protests. Your hands throb. Fresh burns dot your arms. But underneath is something else. Accomplishment deeper than survival. Today you didn't just endure. You created. The plough blade bears the marks of your hammer. Your hands. Outside, the village is quiet. Life going on. The turning of seasons. But the forge follows its own rhythm. Fire and metal and human will. And now, for the first time, you're truly part of it. Your eyelids grow heavy. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new lessons. The last thing you see is your own hands in the dying light. Stronger now, scarred, shaped by 4 years of fire and iron. The hands of a blacksmith in training, no longer a child's hands. And in the darkness, the future waits, ready to be hammered into shape. 5 more years pass in the rhythm of the forge, heating, hammering, cooling, shaping metal and man. You're 17 now, taller than most men in the village. Your shoulders are broad from labour. Your hands can tell the temperature of metal by colour alone. The scared child who arrived 9 years ago exists only in memory. The morning you wake up as a journeyman is no different from any other. Same straw mattress in your small alcove, same pre-dawn darkness, same smoky scent of banked coals. But today, everything changes. Master Oswald is already at the forge, stoking the fire higher than usual. The flames climb the stone structure, casting dancing shadows. He nods at you, his beard more grey than brown now. Today's the day, he says simply. Your stomach tightens. The final test, the masterwork. What will you make? A sword, pattern welded, bone grip. He grunts approval. Not a knight's battle sword, you can't afford that. But a practical weapon, the kind a merchant might carry on a dangerous road. A sword for the real world, not the legends. Willem brings breakfast. He's 13 now, no longer the frightened boy he was. Warm bread, cheese, a small cup of honey, a celebration. Will you leave right away? Willem asks. After I finish the sword, if it's good enough. It will be, he says. Complete faith. The materials wait by the anvil, bars of iron you've been saving, bits of high-carbon steel hoarded from broken tools, a piece of bone for the handle. And for once, Master Oswald will not direct you. This piece must be entirely your own work. You begin with the fire, hotter than normal, the best charcoal. Then you select the strips, 7 iron, 1 steel, and lay them in the forge. Pattern welding. Layers hammered together and folded, creating both strength and beauty. Your pattern, your mark on the metal. The work begins. It's slow, painstaking. Each heating must be precise. You pull the strips from the forge, lay them on the anvil, and hammer them together. The strikes must be even, consistent. One mistake and the layers separate. Days of work, ruined. Master Oswald watches from the corner. Silent. Willem beside him. Word has spread. People peer into the workshop, but you don't see them. The world narrows to three things: the forge, the anvil, and the metal in your hands. The day passes in heat and effort. Sweat soaks through your tunic. Your arms burn, but the bar is taking shape, the strips fusing into layered metal that holds the ghost of every hammer blow you've ever landed. By sunset, you quench the bar in oil. Steam rises in a hissing cloud. Good start, Master Oswald says. Rest well. Tomorrow will be harder. You sleep deeply, dreamless and black. Morning comes fast. The second day is about shaping, drawing out the bar into the length and curve of a blade. This is where real skill lives, not in strength, but in placement. Angle, read in the metal as it moves. The edge must be thinner than the spine. The spine thick enough to absorb shock without shattering. You work through the heat, reheating the blade again and again, hammering it longer, thinner, more defined. The shape of a sword emerges, slow at first, then faster. By the third day, you grind and polish. This is where the pattern reveals itself. Coarse stone, then finer stone, then leather and ash. The metal comes alive under your hands. Whirls and waves, like water frozen mid-flow. Lines that twist and fold in patterns that have never existed before and will never exist again. You made this. This is yours. The bone handle is carved and fitted, leather cord wrapped tight around it. A simple iron pommel. A guard, unadorned but solid. No jewels, no decoration. Just a weapon. Clean, honest, built to work. On the morning of the fourth day, you carry the finished sword to Master Oswald. He takes it without a word, holds it in both hands, tests the balance, the edge, the pattern in the steel, tracing the lines with one calloused finger. The workshop is quiet. Willem has stopped breathing. You've made a true blade, Master Oswald says finally. He looks up, and for the first time in 9 years, there is something in his eyes that isn't calculation. Something warmer, something close to pride. It will serve its owner well. The words hit harder than any hammer blow. 9 years. All of it leading to this moment. This sword. This quiet acknowledgement from a man who has never once said, "Well done." He didn't need to. You heard it anyway. That night, the village celebrates. There's ale, music. The sword is passed from hand to hand, held up to torchlight, admired. Your first true creation. Proof the 9 years were worth it. Master Oswald pulls you aside, away from the noise. The world beyond this village is not always kind to travellers, he says quietly. I'll be careful. He studies you. 9 years of that look. A true smith can find work anywhere. People always need things made, things mended. You'll never starve. Not if you keep your hands moving and your head clear. You nod. He holds out his hand. A blacksmith's grip. Firm and rough and real. You take it. His palm is a landscape of scars. Go well, Alaric. And then he lets go. You sell the sword the next morning to a travelling merchant. The price is fair. More than fair. Enough to fund the road ahead. The journeyman's path from village to village, forge to forge, learning until one day you earn the right to set up your own workshop, your own fire, your own name above the door. But that day is far off. For now, there is only the road, the leather pack on your back, the memory of 9 years and a gruff old man who taught you everything. You stand at the edge of the village as the sun comes up, watching light catch the frost on the fields. Behind you, the forge is already smoking. Master Oswald, at work, the way he'll be tomorrow and the day after, until his hands can't hold the hammer anymore. The rhythm doesn't stop. You take a breath. The air is cold and clean. No charcoal, no smoke, just air, just the world. And you walk. You don't look back. Not because you don't want to, but because everything behind you already lives inside you now. In your hands, in your scars, in the way you move through the world, quiet and steady and unbreakable. You were iron once, raw and stubborn. Now you are steel. And somewhere ahead, the fire is already waiting. So sleep now. Rest easy. Because you made it. Through the burns and the cold and the long dark nights and every single day that tried to break you, you made it. And if a terrified 8-year-old boy in the year 800 AD can survive 9 years in a forge and come out the other side as something stronger, then whatever's waiting for you tomorrow, you can handle it too. Good night.